Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gap Major, and this is a review of the Tier 6 Japanese destroyer Asashio, available for 12,500 doubloons as part of the Golden Week event. Now this is a Tier 6 and 7 game of Capture the Base on Haven. On the enemy team we have a Shiratsuyu, Nakatsuki, a Jervis, a Fletcher, a Mayuku, a Hippo, a KG5, a Roma and a Lexington, which is potentially a very bad game for the Asashio. We'll come on to why later on. So the Asashio, she is the lead ship of her class, which consisted of 10 destroyers. Now Asashio was launched in December 1936, and she partook in the battles of Midway and Guadalcanal as part of World War II. She was sunk at the Battle of the Bismarck Sea in March 1943. So, in comparison to the tech tree destroyers, well, first of all, going on to survivability, she has the joint third best HP base, which is 15,100. Now, she's got a typical tin can armor scheme, so not the thickest armor, I guess you could say. Now, when it comes to the artillery, she has 6 5-inch guns mounted in 3 dual gun turrets. These are mounted A turret, X turret, superfire, and over Y turret at the rear. Most peculiar. You never know. Now, when it comes to these guns, they have the joint shortest range of 10.4 kilometers. Furthermore, they have the longest reload time, which is 8 seconds. Oh my. Right, we should be alright. I'm just gonna probably motor it, I think. Now, turret traverse is also pretty poor in this case. You're looking at 30 seconds per 180 degrees of rotation for your turrets. Now, when it comes to the shells, your HE does seem alright. You've got an above average HE shell damage. You've also got an average fire chance of only 7%. You have the second lowest AP shell damage though, which is 2,200. What else have we got here? Okay. Now, due to that reload, your DPMs aren't looking that amazing, I have to confess. You're looking at having the second lowest HE DPM, second lowest fires per minute, and the second lowest AP DPM. Now, going on to the torpedoes, you've got 2 quadruple launchers mounted on the centerline, and as you're seeing, they do have some quite nice torpedo angles. However, it's worth mentioning that you've only got the 1 torpedo reload booster, which does mean that you can either use it to double up your volleys, as I've done there, or you can use it almost as a backup, oh I need torpedoes now kind of instant thing. Now these have a just above average torpedo launcher reload when you're not using the reload booster, which is 101 seconds, which works out as 25.3 seconds per tube. And now she does have the reloader trait, however that reloader trait really should only be in association with that torpedo reload booster. Now these torpedoes do have an above average torpedo damage of 17,233. They have the joint longest range of 10 kilometers. I think we will let a smoke screen here actually. So I just got to pay attention to this Akatsuki now. Just noting, would like to call in fighters for our from our carrier, but I don't think I can. Okay, well, we can continue. Where did we get to? We were talking about the torpedoes. And I think we mentioned they have the joint longest range of 10 kilometers. They also have an above average detection of 1.6 kilometers and an average speed of 62 knots. What this means is that she has the trait stealthy torpedoes, although this isn't actually correct. It's worth mentioning that actually, based on the torpedo detection and the torpedo speed, enemies will have actually an above average time to respond to your incoming torpedoes. Going on to the maneuverability, you have the second slowest top speed of 35 knots. You also have the joint third largest turning circle of 640 meters. You also have the slowest rudder shift of 3.6 seconds. Going on to your concealment, you have the best detectability by sea, which is 6.6 kilometers base. You have an above average detection from the air, which is 3.3 kilometers, and a joint best signature when firing in smoke. In this case, it's 2.5 kilometers. Going on to your consumables, you obviously have 2 engine boosts. These are your usual plus 8% engine speed for 120 seconds, which will take your base speed up from 35 knots to 37.8 knots, and this then has a 180-second reload. You also have 2 smoke screens, typical smoke screens for a Japanese destroyer, which has a 20-second duration, that's how long it takes to lay a smoke screen, and a 89-second dispersion, that's how long your smoke screen is going to sit around for. It also has a 240-second reload. Now, as you've already seen, you come with a torpedo reload booster. It's kind of like your card up your sleeve, I guess you could say. You only get one of these. Now, it has a 1-second duration, and any torpedo launchers that are reloading during that 1-second duration will have their reload automatically reduced down to 8 seconds. And although you're only going to get one of those, there's always a potential that you might say pick up 2 if you use certain commanders, whether you decide to use, say, one of the cruiser commanders, or whether you decide to maybe use the universal commander, which would be Togo. And in that case, it does have a 360-second reload. Your AA capability is pretty poor in the Asashio. You've only got 2 dual gun mounts, so nothing really to get super excited about. I'm trying to get close to our carrier for the purpose of some actual protection, especially from aircraft. I'm just seeing if I could maybe bait the Maiku to go broad into my torpedoes, but unfortunately that wasn't going to be the case. So we'll just break off from this. Now, as always, down in the description is going to be the commander build and the modules used. Commander build, it's a bit of a strange one. It's my usual Japanese gunboat build. I just felt that twist and track would be quite a nice ability, and I do like to sometimes have a bit of a bite to go with my bark with the Japanese destroyers. Modules, aiming systems module 1. Oh, okay. Well, you never know, we might be able to get ourselves a crack in here. This would be amusing. It's very much a kill steal. Yeah, it's a kill steal. But I ain't gonna turn down the Kraken. Yeah, so I was saying aiming systems module 1. Obviously, a bit of gun dispersion is always quite nice. Yeah, but that improved torpedo traverse speed is probably the main reason to take it. You're going to be very reliant on your torpedoes in this ship. Propulsion Module 2, I feel the rudder shift is quite nice, and having that additional capability with your engines to stop and start can obviously help throw off enemy ships trying to shoot you, but also it does mean that she accelerates a bit more quickly when she comes out of those turns. She does seem to lose quite a lot of speed when she turns, and therefore being able to gain that back as quickly as possible from when you come out of the turn, it can be quite helpful. And obviously Concealment System Module 1, because obviously it's a destroyer, when there's not an aircraft carrier in the game, you're going to be very much playing the detection game, especially when you're coming up against enemy destroyers. Now it's worth mentioning she does come with a permanent camouflage. It's a Type 9 camouflage. It's quite nice. It's not green. It's blue and black and some sea grey as well. So I can't exactly complain about it. I know some people don't like the Japanese green camouflages, so it is a nice alternative. Now, having played her, she's very much just a typical Japanese destroyer, I almost feel. Her tricks up her sleeve, obviously being quite hidden, that's really quite a nice trait. But then that's just really a generalist Japanese trait. We're going to hold on to our torpedoes, and we're going to see if we can maybe go get an easy kill against this Lexington, which is slowly manoeuvring down this side of the map. Obviously the carriers do have quite a short detectability, but looking at my RDF, she's still located off to my starboard quarter, off the starboard bow. For those of you of layman terms, that's your right bow. Just waiting for her to pop up. And there she is. I do wonder, is she going to move? She's very much, I think she set an autopilot course to this location, and of course when a carrier reaches its autopilot location it just stops, which can be rather embarrassing if you stop somewhere where you don't really want to. He's realised the situation, but I don't think he's going to be able to accelerate quickly enough, and we should be securing kill number 6. Very much so. Well, that was a more successful game than initially anticipated. I mean, I have had some good games, but that's definitely been the best game of the night, and ironically I was recording my usual live reviews, obviously moving the campaign along with the Kraken. Haven't earned myself a Kraken for a little while, so it's been quite nice, but it's very cheeky Kraken, but we did get the Lexington, so even if we did leave that cruiser, we would have managed to secure ourselves a nice Kraken, so that's quite nice. Getting Kraken, double strike, first blood, devastating strike ×3 and high caliber, 10 torpedo hits causing 9 flooding, 6 kills, 2 fires, 35 hits on target with the main battery. Coming in top of the team by a hefty chunk of XP, I guess you could say. Second best player on our team was the carrier, proving that the carriers are actually doing quite well. Also looking at the enemy team, second best player on their team is also the carrier. Carriers are the best, they basically settling in on the leaderboard, no longer coming in at the bottom all the time. Going on to the economy screen, earning myself 752,000 credits with a common credit booster, and the premium count, obviously the ship service cost is a reduced 83,000 credits because it's a tier 6 premium. Or not, I'm quite happy with that, and I hope you have enjoyed it. As I have previously mentioned, down in the description is the command build and the ship modules. Even just the channel if you want to send in any of your own game captures for the community spotlight video on a Monday. Also a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon. It is a non-monetized channel, and if you are a Patreon, your name will be appearing on the end screen. I'd like to say thank you to everyone, and until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life. Now, hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major.